Often you need more than one type of therapy for a particular patient. Let's say you've chosen a rhythm control, so your primary objective is to maintain sinus rhythm. But you live in a realistic world for the patient that that's probably not going to happen 100% of the time. So you want to be sure when they go into atrial fibrillation that they're not putting themselves at risk because their heart's too fast or too slow. So they're typically going to be on a drug for rhythm control and a drug for rate control. And what you have to do is make sure you don't pile on. So you have to look at the drug you selected. For example, if you chose dofetilide, it has very little effect to slow the rate. So there, you might want to be sure you've got a good rate controlling drug with it if the person has recurrences. Otherwise, they'll come in with 130, 140 beat a minute AFib. On the other hand, if you have a drug like sotalol that has beta blocking effects plus primary antiarrhythmic effects, you already got a beta blocker on board. You may not want to add more beta blockers or calcium channel blockers to that patient, because if they go into AFib, they may go at a really slow rate and get into trouble. So you got to balance the two out, and you have to figure which drug you're on and how do the two drugs interact. Obviously, you want to avoid any kind of drug-drug interaction, but that's not usually a major problem with the classes of drugs we're talking about. Now, they can interact with some of the blood thinners for sure, and other drugs, but that's not usually a major thing. So it's usually you're already on a drug that slows the rate. And I'll tell you, pharmacists are forever a pain in my you-know-what, because I'll put a patient on a drug like flecainide with verapamil, okay, which is fine. And I'll get a call from the pharmacist, I'm using two drugs I shouldn't use together because some, I don't know, computer program they have. You have to have some blocking of drug. So I can tell them, fine, I'll switch to this one, but they're not happy, and I'll tell them after that, please read my textbook or just fill my prescription.